on a budget. So this part of the blog is where we get to experience our royalness, or what makes us feel royal. For instance, nails, hair, shopping, food, workouts, whatever. As women, whatever makes us feel royal. And then we get to combine that with doing it on a budget. Because sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes the things we like to do, we can't always do within our budget. But we want to find ways where we can feel royal and live royally with the budget that we have. And so that's what this part of the blog is. So I am so excited. Today we are sitting down with Andra Salley, who is the CEO of Beyond the Budget. So she gets to sit down with us today and we get to talk about how to be royal on a budget. What is a budget? How do we set a budget? And how do we squeeze our royal needs into that budget? So let's get to this interview, and I want you guys to hear what's going to happen. I'm so excited today, and I hope that you take away a lot from this. All right, see you guys in a bit. Started. So we have Meetandra here with us, and go ahead and say just a little bit about yourself. I know we had the intro, but I just want to hear a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it, especially because you're starting off and I'm starting off. So my name is Andra Salley. I currently work as a strategy consultant as well as a financial coach, and I'm the founder and CEO of Beyond the Budget Money Management Coaching, where I help individuals try to live their best life currently as well as in the future by managing their money more effectively.
Yeah. And so the reason why we have Meetandra on today is because, as you guys know, we have royalty on a budget, which is pretty much how to live royal with the budget. So if you have a budget or you don't have that much money, but you still want to live royally, these are ways where we could teach you guys how to do that. But it's also good as a royal just to know how to budget your money, not to just spend your money frivolously, but have a plan for it. So that's why we're here, and I'm so excited. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the first question that I have for you, Meetandra, is what is a budget? Just in general, what's the general definition of a budget?
So there's a lot of definitions of a budget, but for me, budgeting is basically shifting your mindset from just spending items frivolously, like you said, to more intentionally spending. So you want to think before you pull out that credit card and swipe it at the store. Is this something that I really need, and is it something that I really want, or is it going to be in the back of my closet the next week? So why are you spending this money, and what could you be using your money more wisely for your future as well as for your present is what I consider a budget. So budgeting, all it is, to answer your question, is mindfully spending.
So would you consider a budget to have wants and needs, not just needs?
Correct. So when you just live your life with just needs, you're just existing through life. But when you have both the wants and needs simultaneously, you're living. So you're starting to live a full, fruitful life for now and as well as in the future. So you'll plan for the future, and instead of just pinholding yourself to saying, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, because you see that you want to do something in the future when you're maybe retired or down the line. So if you set up yourself to figure out what you need, figure out your needs and have that fulfilled, but also try to get your wants in, you'll have a full, fruitful life.
I like how you said a fruitful life, because I think sometimes we think like, and sometimes too, like I know me as a Christian, as a believer, sometimes we think like, oh, we have to live like this, but it's like, no, God wants us to have a life that's full and abundant. Like, right. It's okay to want to get your nails done. It's okay to want to get your hair done. It doesn't take it away.
Exactly, because you only have this one life, and you're on this earth for a short amount of time. And if you stop yourself from doing stuff now and say, I'm going to do stuff someday is not on the calendar. Someday is never going to happen. So you have to figure out how you can make that your dreams and goals in fruition now. So like God, because God also didn't put you on the earth just to work or just to like save money for the next rainy day. It's more to live for the fullest and serve Him.
Yeah, I like that. Not just someday, like someday is not on the calendar. Like tomorrow's not promised. Definitely that's important. Is, you do have wants, and it's okay for you to budget for your wants. So that leads into my next question.
You want to live for today, but plan for tomorrow. So you can have both. You don't have to choose.
Yeah, that is good. That actually is really good to be able to have plans, but still be able to live now. Like I don't have to sit here like I'm waiting till I can live till tomorrow. It's like, no, you only have today. You only have today. Yeah, that's good. At least my next question is, what is your personal view on budgeting and how it should work or look? Which we kind of just talked about, but maybe you could expound. Yeah.
Okay, so For myself, I like to automate everything when I budget because I don't have the time to. Also, people don't have the time throughout their daily lives to be like, I'm going to sit here for 3 hours and write all this stuff down and try to have a budget. So I automate all my fixed expenses. So fixed expenses, I mean, are things that are going to occur on constantly. So like my rent, my utilities, my groceries. I have that already built into a automatic system with my bank system, excuse me, with my bankers, and they'll just take that on my check each month, and I don't have to worry about it. So that's one thing. I also set up sync funds. So sync funds are like little buckets of different savings accounts that I have, where I could say, oh, I want to go on a vacation, so I save my money for that vacation, so I don't have to scrounge when time comes. I have a sync fund for my car, like, oh, I need to get repairs for it. If something arises, I already have that built in. And then I have also a long-term goal. So I also have like my 401k and my Roth IRA accounts for the future. So those are already taken care of. So I suggest for people to look if their company does have a 401k account. And if they can't maximize it, at least match it. Because if your company matches your 401k, that is basically free money that they're giving you.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's interesting. My sister, now that when she started working, all this stuff, not that I didn't have all this stuff, but I didn't. I wasn't aware of like 401ks or retirement
Right.
plans, all this stuff. It wasn't really taught that. So when she started working, and she's younger than me, just to be able to see all that she was able to be offered, I was like, man, you could have money saved up and budgeted so that when you do get older, when you have grandchildren, you're not scrambling to try to get this stuff together. It's like you have that money already saved. I think that's really awesome.
Exactly. And no one tells you this when you're going through school or even your employers, because some might tell you, oh, we have 401k plan, but they don't tell you how much they contribute. You have to read that long list of paperwork. But you can always reach out to your HR and they can tell you what the matching is. And like you said, if you don't plan now and have a steps of how you can live for the future, no one's going to tell you. That's your life. And they're like, well, you didn't know.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing either, because you don't want to be beholden to somebody else to live.
Yeah. Yeah. And then later down, you're like, oh dang. It's like, oh dang, like what can I do now? What can I do now?
Right.
Suggestion to you guys who are watching to make sure that you do your research. Take the time out to do this research. And also do Deandra's program. And we'll talk about that at the end of this. But be able to go in and get some counseling, get some help so that you're able to know what to do. Like if you were like me and you just didn't know what to do, these are great resources for you to be able to have somebody to walk you through this and to tell you, hey, you didn't know this was here, but this is here. So that would be great.
Exactly.
We'll go to the next question. It's like, are budgets, oh, this is a good question. I really love this question, by the way. Anyway, are budgets one size fit all, or is each person's budget different?
Budgeting is not a one size fit all, because everybody's money and financial situation is different. So you have to see how you could fit your financial situation for your wants, as well as for your future goals into your financial situation, arena. So everybody has their own little pot of money, and how do you distribute that? So I can't tell you that you need X amount of percentage for your monthly income, because I don't know what your fixed expenses are. It might be more or less than somebody else's, but you have to figure that out. And you have to be comfortable with how you save and you spend your money, because you don't want to be in a place where you are overwhelmed or burdened by a budget, because that's an adverse effect. You want to feel more free and feel more stress less.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, no, it's not one size fit all. Everybody has to kind of see how their lifestyle will fit for a budget.
Yeah. And I think that's important to remember, because I think a lot of people think that when it comes to money or when it comes to budgeting, when you just hear the word budget, it's like, oh, let me go find a kind of one size fit all. Like, how do I do my budget? Like, it's
Right.
like depending on your life. What is your life? What do you need? What is required? What do you want? Stuff like that. It's just like fashion. The same jean jacket won't look good on me that will look good on you, or vice versa. Yeah.
Exactly. We're not the sisterhood of the traveling pants. We all have different pant sizes, and I can't probably fit your jeans that you can't fit mine. However, we all want a good pair of jeans that fit. Mm-hmm. So that's the same with budgeting. We all want something that will fit for our lifestyle. So I can't tell you, oh, you have to cut out this when that's important to your life. However, you might cut out Y, which will help you grow more fruitfully financially.
Yeah, that's good. You know, I did think of Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants when I thought of this question. Every time somebody fit, I'm like, I don't know how that happened in that movie.
This is a great movie. Why not?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So before we go on, I just want to tell everybody what it means when we're talking about royalty on a budget. So we have the budget side, but I want to talk about the royalty side. So what the royalty side is really what in your life makes you feel royal? What in your life makes you feel like you're living on top of the world? And this is not necessarily like big extravagant things like I love to own 5 million different houses. If that's you, rock it, whatever. But I'm talking about things like, oh, I love to always have my hair done. I love to get my nails done. I love to have fashion. I love to have, nice clothes. I love to eat out. I do, let me be honest. But I love to eat right. Some people love coffee. Some people love to work out. Some people love to have gym memberships, just different things. It's whatever, like what we said, your wants. It's your wants. These are things I want that make me feel royal. And so we want to make sure that you guys are putting those specific royal things in your plan so that you can feel royal. If you're a mom, if you need a spa day every quarter, if you need a spa day every month, that's your royal treatment. Make sure that you're able to put that in. So that's what we're talking today, so that you're able to have the budget to do those royal things that you would like to do. Deandra, do you want to tell us something that you consider that's royal to you personally?
So before I tell you that, because that is what you just said is a great way to put it. You want to prioritize what you care about. So like you said, you care about eating out and care about fashion. You want to put those into different buckets or sink funds or savings accounts where you know that you have the money to do so, instead of just taking out that credit card and spending half-heartedly. And at the end of the month, you're like, well, where did my money go? You want to automatically think, oh, I got my hair done, I'm looking good, but I have also this money where I could take care of, oh, my paycheck's a little short, or my car needs to get fixed. So you can have both. So for myself, I like looking good too. I like a good fashion moment. So, and I probably spend more than the average person on clothes. However, that's in my budget. So I account for, I might spend an extra $100 on this month for clothes, but I would take that extra $100 knowing that I'm going to spend it, but I'm going to use that from, okay, if I'm spending extra $100 here, I'm going to take $100 off of my travel, because I also like to do that, but I can't have both. So if I spend extra here, I will have to take away from another choice, because all you're doing in life is making choices, and there's a give and take. So if I give to fashion, I'm taking away from my travel. But in the long run, it's going to meet up, because I might take from my fashion and give to my travel another month. So I'm going to balance out my budget the way I see fit and how things arise.
Yeah, that's actually really, really good. I like that, to have those designated. So therefore, I didn't go shopping and come home and I feel like crap when I just did something that I love, because I'm like, now I know that I just used the money that I needed for, to get a vision check or something, because I wasn't resourceful with the money that I was given. And you're right, choices. God gives us these resources that we didn't get on our own. He gives us these resources, and it's our job to move them and to be responsible for them and to make the choices that we're supposed to make. So I like that, having different accounts. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is my shopping budget. Definitely needs to be full. This is my nail budget or my eating budget. Definitely need to put money in there. So I think that is really, really good. That is good.
And if you don't have different savings account, like different accounts through your bank provider, you can just do it like on a piece of paper, just knowing that, okay, I'm putting aside X amount of dollars, say $5 each month, to getting my nails done. I don't know how much, you might need more, like 20. So each month, each paycheck, I'm putting that aside. You might put aside, okay, I know I need an emergency fund, so I'm going to put down $200 each month for my paycheck into my emergency fund, which I would not touch, because that's on a rainy day. If anything comes arise like COVID and I lost my job, I know at least I have covered for the next couple months. So word to the wise, please do not touch your emergency fund. That is for emergencies use only. And that is kind of like break if needed kind of thing. But the other funds, the other sink funds that are for wants, please, you can touch that all you want and change your different quantities.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, I know my bank does it. I don't know about other banks, but my bank does it where you can have like put the budget in the app. So you could be like, okay, this is
Yes.
what I'm going to spend for eating or whatever. So if you could, people could take those resources too. Like if you can't split your accounts, at least you can have this budget thing on your apps to know how much money is allocated for each area. I think, and I might be making up stuff, but I think there's ways too where you can do it where it won't let you take anything outside of what you put for that budget. Am I
Yes,
right?
some bank accounts do.
Okay.
Correct. Some banks do have that where you don't, if you go over that limit, it's it. But others is more like, well, you used it. You can keep on using more money, but you have to just be aware. So you have to just please just look at your bank and ask them.
Yeah.
They're more welcome to. They're more willing to help you with any questions.
So be research, you guys. Take the time to research. We're all on the computer. We're all on the phone. You know, go check out your bank. That's what they're there for. Just take that moment to be like, okay.
Right. Just a quick call. Exactly. A quick conversation with your broker or your bank provider. They will give you the answers if you don't want to do the research on your own on the computer.
Yeah, because sometimes I don't even want to do it either. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I want to research this. Not really. What to look for? Okay, this is the next question. Sorry. What to look for to set my personal budget? So I know we talked about wants and we talked about needs and stuff like that. But if I'm sitting down as a woman, as whoever, and I want to set my budget, what do I need to look for to go ahead and begin that process?
So my suggestion would be to take your bank statements from the last couple of months and look for what all your fixed expenses were. So this is like you said, your rent, your utilities, your phone bill, whatever you know that's going to come up each and every month, set that aside because that'll be part of your budget because that's going to always happen. So like I said, automate that and just take it automatically from your bank account. Don't worry about it. And then you want to set goals and priorities of your goals of what you really are trying to accomplish within a couple months. So it could be 1 or 2 months, a year, 5 years. So whatever financial thing that you want to accomplish, please set those goals, but set it where you are intentionally set it. So for instance, you have a goal that I want to own a home. I would do is, what is your dream home look like? What neighborhood? Write that all down. How much would the neighborhood cost? How much down payment you'll need? So usually it's 10, 20%. Have that all written out, kind of like your prayer list or your goal list. And then set, okay, how much do you need each month to fulfill that down payment for your dream home? If you have that's a long-term goal, maybe you have a short-term goal of, I want to get my hair done. So how much would that cost you to get your hair done? Maybe once every 2 months. And then you set that aside. So within each and every paycheck. So that's what I would do for budgeting. So you have your fixed expenses, which will always arise, your goals, and then you want to have a set aside money for emergency. So each month you have money taken out for what might arise or for a rainy day fund set aside as well.
That's good. I like that. So it is going to take some time. And I know that we were talking, we might not want to sit down for 3 hours, but I think the time, and it might not take 3 hours, it might take an hour, whatever. But I think the time is worth it in the long run. And I don't know, you could correct me, whatever, in the long run with our money. Because if we sit down for this moment and say, okay, let's try to get this budget, so that I could do what I want to do. I think it's worth it in the long run to sit down for 2 hours, 2, 3 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes, whatever. Take the time to sit down and plan this out so that later on you're not looking back like, man, if I would have just taken that one moment, it could have saved you time actually later on.
Exactly. So it's just you said 2 hours. That's just a one-time thing. Mm-hmm. After that, you should just look at your bank statements maybe for 10 minutes just to make sure that you're not double charged for something or that you weren't charged for something that you never bought, and then just leave it alone because everything's automated and you don't have to take that extra, you don't have to waste time to live the life that you want. You already did it once. One time was good. Maybe you should do it every year if you feel like it. But myself, I did it maybe once every 5 years because I already know what my expenses are and what my paycheck looks like. And I might adjust, but I don't have to spend 3 hours trying to figure out how I'm going to adjust.
Yeah. So the next question is, how do I make room for living royally in my budget? And so what I mean by this is, for instance, let's say my budget is not as high as what I want. So how do I make room for that in my budget? Or how do I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes. So, for instance, if you like you said eating out, so that is a priority to you is eat out. So you want to have a sync fund for my food, so for your food. So you got to account for that each month within your budget. Now, since you like to eat out, you have all the time. That's going to take away from another aspect of your choices that you can make, because just say your food budget each month or each week is $200. $200 times 4 is 8, so $800 a month that you're spending on takeout. So if you want something else, so just say if you want to go to the Bahamas, you have to take, okay, is it worth $800 for me to eat out each month to afford this? How can I afford this trip? Let's say I take away $200 from that $800 I eat out and try to make my own food or eat leftovers, and then you can have $200 each month that goes to this trip. So it's just a give and take on how you want to weigh the scale.
Okay.
And that's what. So that's why you have your sync funds, and you can prioritize where you want your money to go and change it.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking. This might be the next question, so maybe I'll hold off. Yeah, let's just mix in the next question.
Okay.
So the next question is, how can I live like a royal if I don't have a royal budget, like don't have money? But in sync with what you were saying, I remember we were talking about, let's say like you love coffee, like someone loves coffee and they have to eat coffee all the time. Can you give them that example? I thought that was so good and so clear.
Okay, so when we were talking prior, I was saying a coffee example. You love Starbucks. It's your favorite thing. You get it 4 to 3 times a day. So if Starbucks is, you go through your finances and Starbucks doesn't align with your budget, how could you still get what you want out of it, but not having to go to the Starbucks place every day? You could either buy a Keurig, which is an investment up front, but in the long run, it's probably pennies on the dollar if you have for a span of time, maybe 5 years, and then just buy the cups, the Starbucks cups that they sell in the store. So you still have that same bill at Starbucks, but you don't have that Starbucks money that you're giving out. So instead of spending $5, $10 on a drink, you're more likely spending $2.
Yeah, and I think that's really good. And I think really too, that's where we hone in for royalty on the budget, where I had to grow up doing that thing. Like for instance, I loved to get my hair done, but sometimes I didn't have the money to get my hair done. So I had to learn, well, my mom taught me anyway, but I had to learn how to do my hair so that I can still have a nice like hairstyle in a less budget. So instead of spending $150 or so getting my hair braided, I literally go and spend $27 on the packs and do my hair. And I know that everybody can't do that, but you can find different areas. Like even for fashion, I love the thrift store. Everybody loves the thrift store, but I love the thrift store. And I dress nice, and I save that money. So the $40 that I could be spending on a t-shirt, I just bought 4 or 5 outfits at the thrift store. So It's like better. So just finding those ways to shift. Like I think the world makes us think that we need all these, like you have to have this or you have to have this. It's like, no, if you like this area and you don't necessarily have the money for it, you can budget around a little bit to still have it without, spending all this money or without not having it at all. So finding that perfect middle balance between them.
Exactly. What works for you? So like for yourself, you like to get your hair done, but you couldn't afford it at that time, so you learn to do it yourself. Maybe some people feel like they don't have the skill set, but they can always go to a cosmetology school and get their hair done for cheaper or even free because they have to practice on a human. You can get your nails done by the same way. You can also, like you said, the thrift store example, or wait until something goes on sale. So you like a shirt at your favorite shopping mall, so you like Banana Republic. And okay, Banana Republic at this moment is not in my budget, but I know they're gonna have a summer sale. I can wait as hopefully they have that item that I want on sale. So you can always maneuver and shift your way of thinking of how you go through life and for what you want. Maybe not at the exact time you want it, but when you can afford it.
Yeah, stores always have sales. Like they have sales. Go look in the clearance section. Go look in the places that have sales. Go to what are those malls called? the ones that are like the Castle Rock Mall is like an outlet mall, you know, so they have the same things that they would have in the store, but for less, so that you can get those different things. And I like what you said about the hair. Like, go to the hair store. Those people are trained to do hair. They're trained to do hair, and it's cheaper, and you can do it more often as well if you go there. So, yeah. Before we go on, I'm gonna take a moment now. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. Also subscribe to the blog. I will put the information here. If you would love to sit down with Meetandra more and get more resources and help with your budgets or help with your money management, we will have her information here. Do you want to talk a little bit about your classes and what you offer and what you offer for your business?
Yes, so like I said, I am the founder and CEO of Beyond the Budget Money Management course. So this is a 6-week course that will help you establish your budget, set your goals. But first, you have this. I work on shifting your mindset of seeing how you look at money and how you spend money in relationship with your finances, and also try to get yourself out of debt. So look at your credit card debt as well as any other personal debt that you have, and how to work with that in your budget, and as well as figuring out what you really want in life and how you can go for it now as well as in the future.
Yeah, and that, you guys, that's a resource, especially now with the time that we're in now, and all of us, like, money is kind of shifty right now. It just is. It's just what the season is. But this is a great time more than ever to go ahead and get yourself stabilized and founded. If you have debt, we all know credit card debt. Credit cards came for us. If you want to get out of that debt, if you just want somebody to help you organize your budget or your management, she is a great resource, and that's why we're bringing her to you, so that you can have that resource. So please check her out. All the information will be in the comments. It will be here, and it also will be on Instinctly Royal in my friends section. So when you go to my friends section, there are a whole bunch of businesses and resources that I have for you. She will be there. So please take advantage of this. This is a great opportunity. So now that we said that, and like wherever this point is, so we're gonna go to the last question. So well, I guess we could open it up too. Any suggestions you want to give for money management and being able to live a life that you want to live?
So first, you want to get yourself out of debt, because you said live life royally. That is going to help you out immensely if you take the time to minimize your debt that you have currently. So your student loans, your personal debt, your credit cards, but more importantly, the debt that you have between like family members and friends, you want to pay that off as soon as possible, because you never want people to think that, oh, I helped you out in a certain, when you were in need, but now that you're not in need, you don't feel like you have to pay me back. So you feel like you have to pay the creditors back, but you don't feel like you have to pay a family member back, and that could break ties. So please pay back personal, one-on-one with family members and friends' debt, high priority. Also set up your automatic payments for your fixed expenses, which are expenses that will reoccur each month, as well as your savings, emergency fund, and then your fund or your sink fund money. So whatever you want your goals and wants to be, set those up. They can be automated through your bank. I would suggest knowing what you really do want out of life and going for that, instead of just spending your money half-heartedly and just for what you see. Or like for instance, at the grocery store, you see that candy and you're hungry and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get like 10 of these candy bars. And then when you get home, you're like, I have a stomachache. Do you really need that candy bar just because you're hungry? No, you want to sit there and really think, okay, where can I really maximize my money for now as well as in the future, which you should plan for always, because the future is not given, but it's not going to be it's always going to be there. So that's what I have so far for any suggestions. So automate, take care of your debt, plan for the future. So at least match your 401k with your employer if they have it, or you can set up a Roth IRA or IRA account through a brokerage or through your bank. That will help you start planning for the future more easily, as well as set up an emergency fund and sink funds or low buckets for what you want and goals out of life.
Yeah, I think that's so awesome. And I like what you said about the family thing, about paying back your family. And I think this goes for family, friends, and everything. Sometimes we give special treatment to other people. Like for instance, if I'm buying from a business, like a friend's business, and then it's like I want them to give me a discount, but then I want to pay full price other places. It's like no, the people that are your family and your friends, y'all have to take care of them the same way. You have to treat them with respect. If you borrow money from them, give it back. But I think that's so good for us to be honorable. That's part of being royal, is you have to be honorable to those around you. And money's a big issue. It could literally tear up a company, it could tear up a marriage, it could tear up a friendship. So you want to make sure that is not the thing that gets in between your relationship. And it's integrity. Have integrity with your money. And so that's part of integrity. So I love that. Clap.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
Exactly. You know, one more thing, and also you want to treat yourself like a business. So businesses always pay themselves first.
Mm-hmm.
So I pay myself first. So I will put my money, like out of each paycheck, I will put it towards my savings and my emergency fund first before I pay for anything. Because if I don't take care of me, who else will? So for instance, I consider myself as the LLC of Andra or Andra Salley LLC. And whatever money I get, I make sure I am good, because that's what businesses do. They will take care of them first, and then they take care of others. So keep that in mind when you're also budgeting, to pay yourself first and then pay others. So when I say pay yourself first, that'll be like my savings and my emergency fund, and then the sync funds will be like my employees. Yeah. So I need to make sure that I am good for the future and for anything that arises before anything else, because at the end of the day, stuff will pop up and you're like, well, I well, you have to make sure.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Man, I was like, I've learned so much. I'm like, oh. When I go back and edit this, I'm gonna need to put some notes. Write down notes. Yes. So thank you. So those are the last questions we have. I just want to thank you for sitting with us and just encouraging us in this area. I think it is important. It's just money. It's one of those areas that we have to, put a rein in and manage. And especially as a royal, we want to make sure that we are living like we want to live without, being in debt, but also without being without. So just being able to be balanced in that. So I just want to thank you for coming and for giving us all this information. And I just want to tell people, please, please, please take advantage of this resource. It is really, really awesome. And so I just want to encourage you in that. And I want to leave us with, if you have a last thought, I'll let you go ahead and say a last thought. Any last thoughts?
Well, I just want to thank you for having me on your platform. I greatly appreciate it. And also, I like when you said, you have to manage your money or your money's going to manage you. So either you're going to make yourself wealthy and fruitful, or you're going to put yourself in debt and more in the hole. So it's what you choose. So you could choose yourself, or you can choose debt. Yeah. I don't know a better way to put it, but you have to manage your money and take the time to do so, or your money going to manage you.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that thought. Actually, I'm going to just steal that thought from that thought. But I like that as we are royals, and as we know, we're talking about this month, we're talking about solidarity in Christ and being solid in Christ. That's one of the things. The world will try to take you wherever it needs to go, and even with your money. It'll tell you to spend here, do this, whatever, and it will have you be controlled by your money. That is not how God created it to be. You have dominion over your money. You have dominion over your budget. You have dominion over everything that comes your way. So make sure that you practice that dominion over your money, and that your money doesn't control you. So debt doesn't control you. Overspending doesn't control you. No, you have the ability to be self-controlled in that area. And so we pray that you have that. So I just wanted to encourage you that it does not have dominion over you, no matter what it looks like. It doesn't have dominion over you. You have dominion over it. So we will see you guys next month.
Bye. Thank you.